Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm having not too bad of a day. I was thinking about, I had heard somebody on a live stream talking about, like aliens or, some kind of intruding force, because I'm not a great alien believer. The name for whatever humanoid is doing what to who um, is still none of us can definitively prove. So I'll just say that no, I don't feel defenseless, and I'll tell you why. Because of the people that came before, um, and that takes me into what people taught me when I was young. Um, you know, and actually put themselves out there to do that, um, more on a face to face level than it is maybe now. But see if you know what I mean. These elders in my time put their necks out on the line. The generations that came before us that did all that for us. And now we're out here and we're doing all that for them. These are the projections for the future that keeps the future safe. And we're not defenseless. Our minds are far stronger than that. Despite the seemingly large amount of chaos in the world, there's also a lot more going on the spiritual level, and that that isn't a defenseless thing as a human being. And your projection of your thoughts for your future, you have the ultimate control. There's not a alien, there's nobody more powerful or loved or created in God's image than his children. So, anyway, just thinking out loud. I heard a little baby kitty, one of them feral ones, and they can get up through the bottom of a door in a motorhome. I left out. Well, I actually took the um, door plate that would be like a sill plate, but in the step, I took that out of there, aluminum piece, so they can get down on the stairs and jump in and out of there, and so they can go down and go potty. Well, the first one was out there today, and it's about 5 weeks old. It's really cute. It's got like this gigantic head. It's bigger because of the fur, and this little round body and stubby legs, and kind of a shorter kitten. Just the goofiest little thing. Looks a lot like Heart Baby. Just then I saw one run under the couch in there with black with white feet and some other movement. So there, I'm thinking is at least three. And then another one I call Puma. She had babies, and I haven't seen any sign of them yet, but they'll be around. They'll come around. It was always my hope to tame that last batch of Nellies, and I can tame them enough to. Well, the white one I can pick up, and he wasn't from that batch. He came in the yard from somewhere else, but is a couple weeks older. But yeah, so I can pick up like Heart Baby. Puma won't get near me because they know if I can pick them up, I might give them away, and this is their home. So I'm hoping that they'll let the tiniest ones now get more friendly. The mother was totally wild until she almost died from getting bit. under her throat, her and other people have heard this, but her shoulder bone was sticking out and was busted backwards, and her arm was broken here and here, and I had to tape that up. This is still a little floppy. I couldn't put that much tape on it because of the little pads on her feet, what they call the beans, So, but so I just taped that one spot that covered two of the injuries and tried to make it so she would hold still with her shoulder. See, because she was still outside and she was afraid, and it was all I could do to even get that much taped up. I had made her a little sling for her shoulder, and I was going to go back out there. And I thought, nah, because the sticks in the woods and barbed wire on the fences all around and stuff, it's like, I better not, because that could end up costing her her life. And Doug's cat had been sick and been to the vet, so I had to wait till he healed up to let Nellie in so she could heal. And he's been fixed, so there's no problem with her being in here. So then, anyway, so far, but there still came from somebody else. But I'm doing my best. So I'm hoping to get, and I do have flea collars on a couple of them and more to put on if I, well, I don't want to put on any, I won't on any babies or growing kitties. So yeah, I'll just have to wait. But it's not too bad when they're around their mom because then that collar she has on helps keep the stuff off. I did have a wood tick on me this morning. I had been out walking around in the grass and checking on my rhubarb and raspberries, and um, yeah, had one on me. First one, I don't think I had one on me last year at all. So, and at least during the day, the mosquitoes haven't been too bad, you know. So, and usually in the fall, we'll get like flies wanting to come in out here in the country. And down by the road, you get down there and the woods by there, and there's deer flies. They're just wicked. The horse flies, the bigger ones, we have a few of them off and on, but not a whole lot. So, all in all, if you're out during the day, the bugs aren't really bad at all. Maybe it's breezy out too, so that might make a difference. But still, nah. I was out there and it was still and the sun was shining. But the other day, Doug was out there and he got almost chewed alive. So he's got to work on the lawnmower, broke a belt on it for it's a dual bladed one, and one side the belt broke, but he has one off of an old one, luckily. But it's going to take, you got to get the mower up to monkey under the deck to get that loose. Couple bolts, but it's getting it up, getting the other one up, taking all that off. And he didn't tell me that. I just know because I've been through some shit in my life. But yeah, so he's got to do that. Yeah, I hear that little kitty is outside again mewing, and she or he is loud, just like the one I call Heart Baby. I'll go out there and they're fed well. And it's only to see me in the morning and she screams. I'll put the food down and then she'll just start running around my feet and doesn't eat right away. She just screams seeing me because, it's just the funniest thing too. But this little one, I think, is a screamer just like her. So, yeah, it is cute. It's like, I wonder if she knows what that scream sounds like. When I first walk out the door, all high pitched and funny like that. Yeah, funny little animals. It's been fun watching them, groundhogs, woodchucks, whatever we call them. um, the baby ones that I've never seen a mommy and a baby together before, or a family like I got on video last week or thereabouts. But to see them out in the yard and see the little one looks, they look like little rat teddy bears or something. I don't know. They're so cute. It's funny watching them following the mom, you know. So, anyway, I wonder, and then I used to wonder this about fox, but I wonder how long they stay with their parents or if they're like a family, like other groundhogs seem to have communities. Um, like in Montana, I know, but they're not as big as these here. But the regular ground squirrels are out there. We have gophers and they're different, um, but similar, but not as big as the ones. But they have stripes on them. So like a chickmunk, only it's a gopher. They're two different animals, so but they look similar. A gopher has more dark fur down its back and on its head, and the chickmunk has more of the white markings on the side and can literally breed with a squirrel, a red squirrel. So, and I just found that out a while ago here. And then with a baby fox, I had wondered about how long does a baby fox stay with their parents, because I know, like with coyotes and wolves, sometimes they will stay entire lifetimes around a family. But no, in the spring, that fox mom ditches her baby, and now there's been many years, and we have a creek bottom, and I'll hear a baby start screaming at the bottom of the valley as it's walking up, following its mom's tracks, looking for it, and screaming and screaming and screaming. They're about 6 months old when that happens, sometimes about 5 or 6 months old, from what I can tell. So, or maybe 9 months, that one might have been I had seen. But yeah, the mom brings them into the creek valley with all the woods around and hills. There's cliffs and stuff, and gets them in there. Probably gets them on the scent of a rabbit or something, and then goes the other direction laughing. That'd probably be about it. But they got the eeriest little cry a baby fox does. It's half like half cat, half coyote. It is very unique. If I could ever catch that, maybe I'll be outside sometime when it's happening. But I've sat in here and thought, God, that is the most unique thing I have heard. A baby fox screaming because its mother said goodbye. It reminds me of my adult sons. Yeah, it does. You know. Anyway, well, if they didn't act like that, I wouldn't act like that, Mom Fox. That's the truth. But I heard somebody say we're a product of our environment, and not to really be mad at a family member. And I'm not mad. I'm not really even disappointed. But yeah, environment goes so far. Um, if we had that for an excuse in our life, wrote the playbook. But nah, we don't do that. Uh, and also in our society, drugs and alcohol and mental health because of malnutrition and trauma or abuse and the type of things that all plays with every individual. A certain thing you could have, it's like I go back to that one saying that I love. It's there's two brothers that are raised by an alcoholic father. One brother doesn't drink, and the other brother does. And they were asked, um, why to the one who doesn't drink, why don't you drink? And he said, because I watched my father. And the one who did drink, they asked him, why do you drink? And he said, because I watched my father. So see, I'm telling you, the environment isn't necessarily the mindset or the heart of the child that's raised in that situation. Because if that were the case, look into my eyes, you know, I could tell you something. So I just did, and there it is. There's the difference. It's people are adults, and but if there's drugs and alcohol involved and stuff, that makes it doubly difficult for any person to even see things clearly in the world. So yeah, and that's the truth. I'm just telling like it is, and I know people say that all the time, but I literally am telling the way most people um, operate and communicate and that type of thing. I'm really, really good at it. So there's that. Oh, Call for a Uprising had one about the Masons and how they're recruiting in his state, and they had like local commercials on how to like it, like don't be fit this way. Showed a dude diving into a pool, and but like basically you're fit like this, and whatever. And I'm like, oh, I wrote, I know a lot of Masons that should have like exercised to get those happy endorphins going. It might have helped them. Uh, well, how did wait? I got to word it a little different here. Just a minute, but I'll get the context. If they had all those happy endorphins, that would have helped them the way things really are in the world, I guess is a delicate way to put it for YouTube. Yeah, anyway. So yeah. But it is true. They do sugarcoat everything, and Call made a great big point. If you have like parades or fairs or things in your community where these people are involved there, you literally do get you can catch their vibe, you know, when they got these old, as he said, them old bags out in their wheelchairs, and you know, looking at, and he says, and you can just smell them when you get up to them, and okay, um, that's I always said that people that don't care about other people, and that is true evil, they do have a foul odor. And yes, we can smell them. It is a fact, you know. Maybe I'm going to put a link to that because um, it's not that, I've known people that have been in societies that actually help me out, and in turn, it's helping you out in different ways. I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm gonna put the link. If you enjoy somebody that does understand the covering up of the child trafficking or the drugs or the mafia, and like Doug was saying, a better word perhaps for what people call elite, well, they call themselves that, would be cabal. He said, or, and I said, no, cabal fits perfectly. Cabal is a description, a conglomeration of people. If you are willing to do a certain thing to aid another person, and they're willing to do another certain thing to aid you in the attempt to do something not so kind to the world, then you're a part of that dark cabal. It's a far reaching, very intertwined network that encompasses mafias and um, governments and little societies and big corporations and the whole shenanigans, down to Probably the politics. I don't know. Do we have paper boys anymore? I used to deliver papers. Maybe. Let me think of a more modern scenario. Um, oh, let me think a minute. Just a second. I don't know. I guess. But just a minute. I'll take a sip of coffee. I'll get somewhere. But yeah, my point is the people that came before me and showed me a few ways. And, when that's why I mentioned the movie Push because these things do, it's like suggestive hypnosis, is they pride themselves in their mind control. And when they ran across me, they could not do anything with it. That drove them batty, you know. So that is our greatest weapon, you know, our projection because they can do that. That's why they want to be around you because you see the future. You make the future. We're writing the book as we're speaking, as we're living. Just like the people before me wrote it for me. We're making it better for the next ones. We're writing that dang thing, you know. That's where that's at as far as being defenseless. So, yeah. But yes, and I'm going to tell it like it is. These people who pretend they're philanthropists and like they're doing so much good for like the people in a community or the children or something like that. It is not what it appears to be, and people don't really want to believe that that type of, not only, of course, somebody might have a little bit of control because they're in a position of power around you or whatever the case may be, but the depth of the crafts that are implemented towards people is what needs to really be made aware of the witchcraft that actually is involved in the whole thing for your demise. And that's totally the biggest secret. Some of us have come to the realization that that's been a thing our whole lives. You know, it's not too acceptable, and I'm not passing that on to the next generation. I'm just not going to sit here, and I'm glad that there were people, older people in my life, to do the same thing that I'm doing. Hey, this is what's going on. This is not telling you what to do, but here's the information. Um, you know, like take it for what it's worth type of thing. But if it comes out of somebody that you have a reason to have a certain level of respect for, that makes a big difference, you know. Well, I hope you all are having a beautiful weekend. So far, so good for me. Um, I think we have an awful lot of warm weather heading our way. Not sure about the storm situation, but I think Father's Day is going to be roasting. Might be time to put the air conditioner on, but I do like it at night when I can have my windows open and you know it's nice. So fresh, you know. Oh, until the morning. Sometimes the songbirds get to be a bit much, but I will just like telepathically, like, could you like sing a little quieter or some dang thing? Then they seem to fly off to another tree and start it all up again. But it's not as bad because just the feeling that they quit for a moment and had the respect to hear me telepathically, that was cool. Those types of things happen all the time. And liars pretend telepathy isn't real. They use it for their advantage, so they're never going to admit it. You know. It's just like yesterday when I was saying, when Doug asked if I wanted him to, and I said yes, pick up stakes. you know, um, we could do that when we first met because I could do that independently, and so could he. When you're raised with that as a reality in your life around very loud minds, that you get really good at it. And I think a lot of people need to start realizing that these things that you're hearing and feeling inside your body, the cells, the connection, the energy, the electricity, information molecules from every living being on this planet being teleported through you with electronic information on a second base, microseconds. That's how fast you go to God. You're never separate. And a lot of people think, well, maybe you're dead in your body, you know, or maybe you will be. I'm not saying that's not a possibility. I have no idea. Um, but um, some people actually have had their life out of them and been back into their bodies in this existence. And to me, I heard somebody say, well, they could come back because they stopped at the light. Well, I don't know. I think the true rapture is actually literally talking to God and then doing what He tells us to do, and that doesn't stop at any light. In fact, the whole tunneling situation um, is like you are chased by the hounds of hell, and if you don't have guardian angels for you, behind you and in front of you and at all sides, you're screwed. So these people that are playing games out in the ether and everything, if they don't have good intent, they're screwed. So screwed. Unbelievably so. So pretending that somebody stopped at the light or whatever, no, does not work like that. I know from several times personally, almost not being here, literally. So, a lot of you know different things I've said that, like, I was gone, you know. So, anyway, that is what they would call, let me see, there's a word for it, quickening, you know. It's not something, though, that you have to physically die to inherit because that's what Christ did for us to teach us how to get to forever, you know. So anyway, we're not defenseless, and telepathy is real. People don't always answer back, and they may not be as loud as other people, but we do hear each other. You know, I really know that most that would call themselves elite aren't very good at telepathy. Um, they're just not. They're lacking in human talents that others of us that really have like some true energy inside us, doing things for real. They don't have that. And they do have to have an army of slaves to be able to do the most basic things in the world. They're pathetic, you know. So, anyway. Well, I will leave it at that. I thank you for joining me. I just want to make it perfectly clear that we're not always just necessarily a product of our environment because the well, caves, lights, hypnotism, all the, I mean, I could go on, there's a laundry list of things I could literally, if you would not disbelieve me if we were sitting and talking about things and I could tell you about my childhood, but I'll just shorten it real short. Um, and it isn't just about my childhood, maybe my entire life so far, that the things they've tried to put on me and make me do in my life did end up going against them, and it didn't benefit them at all. And if you are strong minded enough, there's nothing they do that's going to benefit them, you know. And when they run across somebody like that, um, they are afraid of you, whether they want to admit it or not. So, you know, that, what is that? Squirrels, red squirrels. If you heard them, they kind of trill and make little cheap noises like a bird, but that's a little red squirrel. They're right out, and my favorite tree is a Scotch pine out my window, and they can see in this room. So they're they yell at their babies when they want them to stay in the nest. That's what's going on, and the babies are arguing back. So anyway, um, I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful weekend. Yeah. Uh, Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.